Hi, my name is Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The purpose of this channel is to give you reviews of tackle and angling equipment that's been out on the bank, tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. So I'm going to talk about fishing in cold weather today, and it's really important to stay warm. It not only helps you enjoy the day more, you're able to concentrate better if you're warm. And I've had days where I felt like I'm shivering and it's dangerous because your body's getting cold, you're not moving very well, you're more likely to break something or fall over. So keeping warm in winter is really important when you're fishing. Today I'm looking at the Preston Innovations heated gilet. I'm going to take you through all the features and my experience with it. I did review on this channel another gilet, a Vulcan Sports one, which was a really good gilet. Unfortunately, it gave up the ghost, and so I thought I'll try the Preston one. That's out now. I didn't think, well, I'll not bother with one. Once you've had one and you've been warm on the coldest days, you're going to replace it if it ever fails, because you really can tell the difference, and it makes a big difference to your winter fishing. I fish all year round, whatever the weather. I'm a carer for my wife, so I get to go fishing when other people are available, and whatever day they tell me, that's the day I go fishing. Some days I get lucky, some days I don't. So let's look at this gilet, and there's lots of stuff if you go on the Preston website, but that's the kind of the size of it. It's really nicely made. There's been some thought gone into it. On the inside left, so this is on your left hip, is where the battery pocket is. There's a little zip there. There's a cord to plug into the battery. I'll come on to the battery in a bit. You then put it all in there and you zip it up, and that's your battery within there. There's pockets on the front either side for your hands, and personally I found this quite handy. There's a pocket at the top on your left chest there, handy for your phone, your keys, or your day ticket money, or whatever. I think that's quite handy. It has a nice robust zip. It's not a two-way zip. You put it in at the bottom and you pull it up, and the control for the heating, and I will show this in use later, is there on your left chest for you to adjust or turn it on and off as well. And it does have those little tightener things at the bottom that I don't think I've ever used on any item I've ever owned, but that might be for you. So how do I wear this? Well, in winter I will have a thin base layer, a t-shirt over the top, and then I'll put this on as the next layer. And I do think, and I found this with the previous one, you need this near your body to get any kind of benefit. If you put it on top of a soft shell or a big fleece, you're reducing the heat getting to your body. So it needs to be fairly close to your body, but a couple of layers in between, thin layers, is fine. So when I put this on, at the beginning of the session, I connect the battery, and it then turns on the gilet. So I'm going to just get the little wire out of the pocket, plug it into my battery. I will talk about batteries later. I turned it on, immediately it starts flashing, and then it's on. So the first thing you need to do is turn it off at that point. It's not like you won't forget, because all of a sudden you'll get this almost burning sensation on your back and you think, yeah, it's on. Let's talk about the controls here. So it comes on, when you turn it on, it comes on the highest setting, red. You then press it, it then goes on to the second warmest, which is purple, then goes on to green, and it then goes on to white. And if you press it again, it goes off. So it's off while you're fishing. You want it back on, you press it once, it comes back on. It always comes back on at hot. If I've got a coat over the top, you can press this, you soon figure it out without having to kind of look at it. You will know which setting you've got it on, but more of that later. So I'll turn that off. And obviously the battery goes in the pocket there and it sits there, and it does sit on your kind of left hip. And you can feel it while you're fishing. I'm right-handed, that doesn't cause me any discomfort or any problems while I'm fishing. So my experience of the heat settings is the red is very warm, and if I've let myself get too cold, I'll put it on red maybe for 15-20 minutes, but then I'll turn it down a peg to the purple setting. I don't think you could sit with it on red all day. I certainly couldn't. It is too warm. It's instant heat as well. There's no real build up. You can tell when it's turned on, and it's lovely and warm on your back. So there's 3 other settings than the warm. The only one I've used is the purple, because if I'm cold, and I was sat out the other day and it was a cool day and it was a windy day, and I just put it on purple for the whole 3 hours of the afternoon I was fishing, and I can sit with that. I've got a lovely warm back. I've got no particular issues at all, and I can leave it on that setting. I haven't tried the lower settings because there isn't any point. If I want it on, I want to feel it. But it might be different for you. You might like a low underlying heat there. But no, I'll put this on the purple and maybe leave it on all afternoon. So where do you get warm? And there are 5 heating areas. And so on the back, there's 1, 2 high up. There's a bigger one across the lower part of your back as well. So that's 3. And then the front pockets have got a heating element in as well in each of those. So that's the 5 places that get warm. So the ones on the back are brilliant. You can feel them straight away. It's really comfortable. It's really nice. The 2 on the hand pockets, I don't think they serve any purpose for me, because I will put this on over that base layer and t-shirt. I'll then have a bib and brace on that'll come up to there. So I'm not using those hand pockets. And if it's cold enough to need this being turned on, I'm probably going to have my all-weather hoodie on top, or even my full Gore-Tex coat, because I only put it on when it's really cold. So I don't think the hand warmer pockets do anything for me. They might do something for you, but if you've got a bib and brace, they're going to be difficult to get to anywhere. But you do feel a nice bit of warmth on your, shall we say, 6-pack. So the battery, obviously the capacity of the battery will determine how long you get out of this. And Preston have done their own branded battery, and that's £60. Now, I thought that was a bit steep, and there was a bit of a discussion on the forum. It's a 20,000 milliamp. We're really at the edge of my knowledge here, but let's say it's a 20,000 one. The batteries I have in my heated socks are 5,000. So this is really high capacity. It's a big chunky battery. did some research, went on eBay, and I bought this battery here. It's got quite a bit of weight to it, and it's got the USB-C socket, which is what it comes with. It's also got a couple of the old USB ones as well, so you can charge your phone on it. It's a really nice battery pack. I paid just over 30 quid. I'm now going to put the advert on screen for this one that they're still selling, and it's still just over 30 pounds. It's 20,000 milliamps. And what I will say, the other day I said I put it on for 3 hours on the purple setting during the afternoon. It was over 3 hours. And the battery, and it handily shows you the percentage there, it went from 100% to 74%. So that was 3 hours on purple, which is my preferred setting. So I think I could get all day out of this, even with a bit of the high heat as well. And I'm assuming the Preston battery, being the same capacity, is very similar. They say 6 hours on red, 5 hours on purple. I think I'm going to get that at least out of here. But it's very rare you need it on start to finish on any given day anyway. Normally when you get there and you're setting up, you're plenty warm enough for a couple of hours, cup of tea. It's normally the afternoon where I find that I'm turning this on. Now, what I will say is, if you plug this in, it effectively turns the battery on, and it turns the gilet on as well. So effectively, while that's plugged in to the wire, it's on standby, if you like. So I've not used this all day. I've then left the battery in, and 3 days later I came back and I think it was 76% or maybe even 80%. It will lose charge if you leave it effectively on standby with the gilet. But it's quite straightforward, because what I do when I get home is I take the battery out. If it needs charging, it's charging. If not, I can just leave it in the pocket disconnected. But just to be aware that the battery will eventually run down if you just leave it in the gilet. So there's only one issue I want to raise with this gilet, and I'm going to put it on. Hopefully it won't affect the microphone. Oh, I forgot to say it's got a lovely fleece-lined collar. So this is the gilet on me. You can see there's a little bit of room in there. Now, everything I buy, all my tops, all my hoodies, all my t-shirts, is a size large. And so I thought, I'll just get the size large. Thankfully, I went to the shop and actually saw these in person. I know, quite rare nowadays. And I tried the large on, and it was massive. Now, you want the heating element to be touching you to get the benefit. So I've ended up with a medium here. And if anything, I would say it's generous, even as a medium. And the Vulcan one I had previously was quite tight on my body. Now, I don't have any problem feeling the heat here, but what I will say is, I think you really need to go down a size. If I bought the large, I wouldn't have liked it. It would have been sloshing around. It wouldn't have been tight enough at all. So that's the only difficulty I've found. I do want to just mention the fleece collar, because when you zip it right to the top, it's like having a neck gaiter on, and it's a really well designed collar for doing that as well. So let's summarise it. It's very well made. It's very efficient. It works. You can feel the heat. It's very easy to use. There's no particular difficulties. A few little quirks, like it starts when you plug it in. That's fine. It's certainly better than the one I had previously, and I think it's designed for anglers as such. I prefer a heated gilet, and I know Preston make a heated soft cell, but that's another layer. So are you really going to get the warmth through? And the other thing, if you wear a soft cell, you're going to get dirt, you're going to get slime on it, it's going to need washing. I've worn this a lot, and it doesn't need washing because it's always under other layers. It's never my top layer. It was, I think I paid about £100, and I bought it earlier on this year. So I had a bit the tail end of last winter, and I've been using it this winter. I think the RRP is around 120, but I've seen them at £90 for all sizes available on eBay. So it's probably come down a little bit in the meantime. The battery, well, you can make your own choice. You might already have a power pack, and you might say, well, I haven't got a USB-C connector on my power pack. So you can go on eBay, I'll put a photo, and buy a little adapter so that you can plug the USB-C that comes with it into one end, and then it goes into one of the normal big fat USB-C ones. And I think I got 2 of these for £4. So you can mix and match. And if you had a hand warmer, even I've got a hand warmer that's got a USB socket, it could run this, but obviously it's how long you want to run it for. With these 20,000 milliamp batteries, then you've got no worries. You're going to be warm, I think, basically all day, especially in winter when it's getting darker, 3:30, 4 anyway. I love the neckline, and fundamentally it is very warm, and if you can sit with this on full power for more than half an hour, then you're a very cold person, because it really starts to overpower me after that amount of time. Okay, I think I've covered everything on there. Now, if you've got any questions on this, put it in the comments below. I'll always come back to people. If there's anything you want to know about this that you don't think I've covered, or just some random measurement detail you want, then no problem, just put it in the comments. If you want to give me a like, a thumbs up, that's great. If you want to subscribe to the channel, there's lots on there, and there's more coming, and you'll get automatically notified of future videos. I'm doing them regularly now, every couple of weeks, so I've got plenty of output to keep you interested. Until next time, tight lines.